I stand here today to take part in this debate on the so-called rising intolerance in India. I would like to question this. Intolerance is rising, they say, in comparison to what and when? Because whenever you say something, you talk about intolerance is rising, you are expected to tell us in reference to what? When were we more tolerant than we are now? Do we have a reference point in recent history? Incidents like what happened to Akhlaq in Dadri and the rationalists elsewhere are regrettable and should not happen in any civilized society. But stray incidents have been happening all over India for many, many years. Strangely, our wonderful intellectuals who have been returning their awards, people we respect very deeply, I want to ask them, where was their conscience all these years when so many things that should have shaken their conscience happened? How come they didn't wake up to anything then? They now feel it's an unsafe place to live. I have a few questions to ask of them. Where were they when the ethnic cleansing of Kashmiri Pandits took place? According to a report publicized by the Jammu and Kashmir police, 209 Kashmiri Pandits were killed by militants since 1989, and about 109 were slaughtered in the year 1990 only. More surprisingly, only 24 cases have been filed in 25 years, with more than 110 cases untraced. My friend from the TDP today said that you never find Indian refugees anywhere, and I'm proud to agree with him. But sadly, within our own country, we find the Hindu minority of Jammu and Kashmir refugees in their own country. But none of the intellectuals spoke up then. Maybe they were not motivated enough. Maybe it's too small a vote bank to talk about. Let's take the case of the Sikhs who were massacred. Believe me, it was not a riot. It was a massacre in a brutal show of power back in 1984. My friend Mr. Mohammed Salim was very dramatically saying yesterday, Punjab mein aag laga hua hai. Mohammed Salim साहब अब तब कहाँ थे जब पंजाब में असल में आग लगा था? 1980s में जब आग लगा था, जब वहाँ पर मैडम मैडम स्पीकर, 1980s में भिंडरावाले was created by the Congress party at the center. When things went out of hand, he went into the Golden Temple. The then Prime Minister belonging to the Congress party took the army and the tanks into the most sacred inner sanctum of the Sikhs, the Golden Temple. Not only Beda, bolan de.
She has not taken anybody's name. Please sit down. नाम नहीं लिया है, किसी का नाम नहीं लिया है, बैठिए। नहीं रखो। She has party, but not anybody's name. Please बैठिए।
Madam, after that, after the very tragic assassination of the then Prime Minister, because it was done by the Sikh bodyguards, lot of people, lot of Sikhs, 3,000 Sikhs in New Delhi and 8,000 more in 40 cities throughout India were massacred. The cries of the family members and their mourning can still be heard. But these lives got lost in the midst of times, and they were truly intolerant times. Yet many of these very intellectuals accepted awards and positions of power by the then Congress government in the center. Did their conscience not awaken to the intolerance? Or were the Sikhs again too small a vote bank to worry about? No, I question this so-called intolerance. For that matter, Madam Speaker, let us look at the period of the emergency in 1975. Forced sterilizations took place in the garb of family planning. They were more than the sterilizations carried out by Hitler on the Jews back in Nazi Germany. Statistics reveal that there were 11,04,426 vasectomies in India during emergency and 4.6 million tubectomies. Can this be termed as a tolerant practice of a very democratic country? And anyone who voiced a protest, whether they were opposition leaders or they were members of the press or members of civil society, intellectuals were either jailed or they were muzzled. How the press was muzzled, we all know, it's a matter of history. Then the point to understand is, how have these people suddenly emerged out of nowhere, started raising a voice against what they think is the rising tolerance in the country? We need to understand the motive behind these protests, the fabricated nature of the unrest that has taken over the country. We must stop and pause to ask why this outrage has taken place. How has the conscience of these people suddenly awakened?
Nothing will go on record if these things happen. No.
Salim Sahab, your friend Ms. Supriya Sule just told us you are representatives of the people here. Kindly, थोड़ी शांति से, सहनशीलता से, टॉलरेंस से हमारी बात सुनिए, थोड़ी सी टॉलरेंस दिखा दीजिए। हमने आपके बहुत तंज सुने हैं, हमने आपकी बहुत बातें सुनी हैं, क्षमा कीजिए आपको बुरा लगता है, हमारे को भी बात कहने का हक है। The thing is, madam, there is a paradigm shift in Indian politics. There is a paradigm shift in Indian politics. There is a polar shift in the social media, in the way people perceive the India of today. And that is what is bothering the parties that went into the hustings every time, promising a lot, but unfortunately could not deliver on governance. And so every time they fell back on secularism and trying to make parties that try to do something for the people where governance is concerned into communal parties. Because that is the easiest thing to say. How do you prove it? How do you disprove it? आप आंकड़े देंगे, हम आंकड़े देंगे. Perception ऐसा बना दीजिए जिससे लोगों को लगे हाँ बड़ी बहुत intolerance है. Perception is a very dangerous game, madam. This is what is happening in this country. मैं आपको अपनी personal बात बताती हूँ. My husband was the censor board chief when Vajpayee ji's government was in power. He was removed overnight when the UPA came into power, and Ms. Sharmila Tagore, with due respect to her, was appointed. Was this tolerance? And madam, the two people who started this whole thing against him, even though he was the only censor board chief who passed a film like Black Friday without a single cut, were the same people who started the problem about this intolerance, the same two documentary filmmakers. We are in the film industry, we know them, we recognize them. The Indian film industry has faced great intolerance from the Congress party over the years. When Mr. V.C. Shukla's time, he wanted Kishore Kumar to sing at one of the Congress functions. Kishore Kumar refused. Mr. Kishore Kumar was banned from All India Radio. This is a matter of history. He wanted Dilip Kumar and Devanand Sahab to take part in one of their political rallies. They refused. He wanted to ban them. Devanand Sahab writes about this in his autobiography. It's a matter of history and a matter of record. Shame. Farooq Khan and Amir Khan are people I respect. They have a right to their opinion, but I wish people who are celebrities also realize that they lead very, very privileged lives. Very privileged lives.
That's why I gave you the earphones. You continue. Then we serve you.